Marsau Scott's exit from Love and Marriage Huntsville has left fans in shock, with many questioning what really led to his decision to leave the show. For years, Marsau and his wife, Letitia, have been central figures on the show, known for their strong business minds, marriage struggles, and overall presence. But lately, things seem to have shifted for Marsau. Fans started to notice changes in his behavior and his role on the show, and now the truth behind his departure is starting to unfold. The real reason Marsau walked away from Love and Marriage Huntsville may be far deeper than anyone realized. Marsau Scott has always been known as the calm, collected businessman. Throughout his time on the show, he typically kept his cool in the face of drama, choosing to focus on his business ventures rather than getting caught up in the ongoing conflicts surrounding him and his castmates. However, as tensions increased, with fellow cast members, especially with the Holts, things began to change. The long-standing feud with Melody and Martell Holt, with accusations of betrayal, infidelity, and the business dynamics between the two couples, created an environment that became increasingly toxic for Marsau. What fans didn't see behind the scenes was the growing frustration and pressure Marsau faced. From the very beginning of Love and Marriage Huntsville, the dynamics between the Scotts and the Holts have been a major part of the show's storyline. As the conflicts deepened and the drama escalated, Marsau found himself at the center of it all. The tension between the two couples became so intense that they could barely be in the same room without sparks flying. For Marsau and Letitia, it felt like they were constantly being dragged into public feuds, both on and off the screen. But the real issues started behind the scenes, where Marsau felt like he and Letitia were being unfairly targeted by the show's editing and narrative. Over time, rumors began to surface that Marsau and Letitia were frustrated with how they were being portrayed. Some fans speculated that the show's producers were intentionally pushing certain narratives to create conflict, especially highlighting personal issues like Marsau's alleged infidelity and the tensions in his marriage. For Marsau, it seemed like he couldn't catch a break. Every time he tried to move past a scandal, another one would rear its head, and it was all being captured on camera. The frustration of feeling like the show was actively setting them up for failure likely weighed heavily on Marsau. But it wasn't just the editing that bothered him. Over the years, Love and Marriage Huntsville had become known for its explosive moments, and as the show gained popularity, there was growing pressure on the cast to deliver drama. Rumors spread that Marsau was being asked to create more conflict, to engage in more messy situations to keep the audience entertained. However, this was never Marsau's style. He wasn't the type to get involved in shouting matches or throw chairs across rooms, which made it difficult for him to engage in the level of chaos the producers were looking for. This dissonance between the expectations of the show and Marsau's own values likely contributed to his decision to step back. In addition to the personal conflicts and the growing pressure to stir up drama, Marsau's departure might also have been driven by business concerns. Love and Marriage Huntsville has become one of Owen's top reality shows, and with success comes the need for negotiations. Some sources claim that Marsau was not happy with his contract and felt that he wasn't being compensated properly for his role on the show. If this was the case, it could explain why he felt the need to walk away. Reality TV is a business, and when you're one of the key players in a show that's making millions, it's only natural to want to ensure that you're getting a fair deal. But what if Marsau wasn't just walking away from the show? What if he was being quietly pushed out? There's speculation that behind the scenes, the producers of Love and Marriage Huntsville were looking for ways to replace him with someone who could bring a new level of drama and excitement. The idea of replacing Marsau has been discussed among fans, with some suggesting that the show might bring in a new couple or cast members to fill the void left by the Scotts. If this is the case, it's a major shift for the show, which has relied heavily on the business-focused storyline of the Scotts. With Marsau and Letitia gone, the network will need to find a way to maintain the show's appeal and keep fans invested. Now, with Marsau's exit, there's talk about what he and Letitia might do next. Walking away from Love and Marriage Huntsville doesn't mean they're leaving reality TV behind. In fact, there are already rumors circulating that Marsau and Letitia are working on a new show, one that gives them more control over their own narrative. In conclusion, Marsau Scott's exit from Love and Marriage Huntsville marks a major turning point for the show. Whether he left on his own accord or was quietly pushed out, one thing is clear: Love and Marriage Huntsville will never be the same without the Scotts. With new cast members on the horizon and the growing speculation about the show's future, the drama is far from over. fans are left to wonder if this is the beginning of the end for Love and Marriage Huntsville, or if the show will adapt and continue to thrive. Only time will tell.